SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The government of Ecuador claims that the country has come under a broad and concerted cyber attack, with approximately 40 million attempts to compromise web portals connected to public institutions ever since the controversial decision to allow UK police to forcibly remove WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange from their London embassy. Activist Post reports that Deputy Minister of Information and Communication Technologies, Patricio Real, told reporters that the wave of attacks began shortly after last Thursday's arrest of Assange by British authorities. Real said the attacks principally come from the United States, Brazil, Holland, Germany, Romania, France, Austria, and the United Kingdom, and also from Ecuador. On April 11th, Ecuadorian President Lenin Moreno revoked the diplomatic asylum extended to Assange by the South American nation in 2012. Instagram has begun blocking pages belonging to Iran's Islamic Revolution Guard Corps, following the organization's official listing as a foreign terrorist organization, or FTO, on Monday. The anti-media reports the commander of the IRGC's elite force finally had his page blocked following this week's designation. He had maintained the account for 2.5 years, for which he frequently posted anti-American political messages and threats. The IRGC's official page was also blocked, which had nearly 1 million subscribers. Instagram had never previously moved to permanently shut down Commander Soleimani's account, despite him being individually designated as a foreign terrorist by the U.S. Treasury back in 2011, although it had been temporarily blocked several times in the past for violating the platform's rules. Among a number of prior threatening images, last year posted an artistic rendering of himself standing in front of the White House, depicted as being on fire after an explosion. Soleimani had over 100,000 Instagram followers, compared to President Hassan Rouhani's 2.2 million, although the latter's account is still active. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The new Netflix Gas lets users instantly inhale multiple seasons of TV shows. An area man is worried the nation's healthcare debate might be getting political, and a bullied 8th grader incorrectly thought classmates would leave him alone during a field trip to the 9/11 memorial. Don't mistake my kind, gentle tone for one of love or support. This is the Onion Week in Review. According to a report released this Tuesday, no one, absolutely no one, will ever stack up to your 8th grade boyfriend, Brian Bowden, who you dated for 6 weeks in middle school. A 43-page study from Stanford University confirmed that no other guy in your life will ever be as kind or caring as the 13-year-old who held your hand during the scary parts of Jurassic Park, who had that really cool chain wallet, and who bought you 2 pink carnations on Valentine's Day. The report added that while your current boyfriend does have a lot going for him, he will certainly never cut class with you to listen to the Dead Kennedys' Frankenchrist on a Sony Discman. Brian used to do that with you. He used to do it all the time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. You can call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. That's what we do here. It's Mark with you.
And Rich Paul.
Thank you for sitting in with me, Rich. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
I probably should have been more clear at scheduling here with perhaps Jay and Angie. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Likely it's my fault. I'm so bad at this, right? Like Ian usually manages the host, but on Wednesday night it's always me. So called you in, and thanks for that. Thanks for coming in.
No problem.
I do, however...
It's good to live next door.
To assuage whatever sting there might be to this, is I have some really big news.
Really?
Yeah. So are you familiar with seasteading, the concept?
Yes, I am.
So tell me what it is.
Seasteading is the idea that we can create some new piece of real estate, either floating on the ocean or attached to the bottom of the ocean in the case of sea land, or in some cases just a pile of rocks in the ocean, that somehow we can create a new place to exist that is not within the jurisdiction of any existing government, and that it can therefore be self-governing.
Right, and there's the Seasteading Institute. If anybody wants to find out about it, I don't remember exactly what their web address is, but you can use some search engine and look up Seasteading Institute and find out more about this organization and that sort of thing. But you basically got the concept down. Living on the water.
I went to high school with a guy named Sean Hastings, who at one point was the owner of Sealand, which is an old anti-aircraft platform like 13 miles off the coast of Britain. And it was built by the British, but it was technically in international water, so they don't have jurisdiction over it technically.
Yeah.
They tried to bust the guy who lived there for not paying into NHS, the National Health Service there, and the court found that he didn't live in Britain, so he had no need to do that.
Well, that's a pretty cool story. There's a lot about Sealand that's worth checking out. I didn't know that your friend had at one point owned it. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. I've talked to him a couple of times, but I've never
haven't kept
managed
up
to make it out there.
Yeah. So there, we reported here on Free Talk Live that there was a seastead that had been put in place. I guess we did it in February because it was at Anarchapulco, and apparently there's been some issues. So have you heard about this seastead that was off the Thai coast that had been put in place?
No, I had not.
Okay. I watched a bunch of videos on it, and more or less what they'd done is they'd put this bobber thing with a weight on the bottom. They called it a pier, right? So this 40-foot metal float. But the way it was designed is that if the waves went up, it didn't go up the same way, right? Like the waves, the way it floated in the water, basically, but floated in a way that was not, bad, I guess. It
floated. So it wasn't likely to capsize? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, it definitely wasn't going to capsize.
Okay.
It also wasn't going to be thrown by the waves, too. So it was in a place in the world where waves weren't likely to occur. Terribly, right? Like it's just, one of those spots where they just don't get a lot of waves. Mm-hmm. And it was 13 miles out from the Thai coast. So
Which puts it in international waters, or at least level waters. 1 international waters. I guess there's some things they claim 23 miles. But.
Right, and there's some things they claim 200, sort of their influence zone. Whatever. These countries can claim whatever they want.
They'll claim whatever they want. Who's going to raise an army and stop them?
That's really kind of the issue. So this thing had been out there very recently. There's been a couple living on it. They were selling the opportunity to put a seastead out there with them. They're going to create a little community. They were doing some trading. At some point or another, there was going to be, commerce. There's certainly commerce going on, right? Like they were near this, unfortunately named for the FCC licenses of radio stations around America. They were just off the coast of Phuket. We're going to use that terminology. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce Phuket, but that's the one I'm going to go with.
Phuket?
Phuket.
Is that a very small phuc?
It's a city in Thailand, and there you go. And
okay.
So it they're just out there in the water, and fishermen are going by, and everything's fine. Like life is fine. Mm-hmm. Let me read the article. This is from Reason Magazine, written by Brian Doherty, whom I've met. Nice man. The Thai government is reportedly demolishing a seastead that briefly appeared off the coast of Phuket. According to the Bangkok Post, Thai, which by the way, I never clicked this link because I don't speak Thai, so I haven't checked this. But
right.
The Thai government thinks the act of floating around just outside their 12-mile coastal zone breaches Section 119 of Criminal Code. The section concerns any acts that cause the country or parts of it to fall under the sovereignty of a foreign state or deterioration of the state's independence. It is punishable by death or life imprisonment. Chad,
holy moly.
Yeah, right. They're not.
Now, this is where the tyrant Durante is, right?
No. Duterte is in Philippines.
In the Philippines. Okay, right. I have a hard time keeping the Far East straight.
Yeah, why should you care?
Even the Near East.
Chad L. Wartowski, one of the CSED's 2 former inhabitants, writes on a Facebook post, "This is ridiculous. We lived in a floating houseboat for a few weeks, and now Thailand wants us killed." The "wants us killed" likely refers to that potential punishment for violating Section 119. "We had to go underground because our contact warned us before this came out." I presume the story is what they're talking about. L. Wartowski adds, he also insists that he and his Thai companion, Nadia Summergirl, were merely tenants of the seastead and were not responsible for designing or building or placing it directly. I mean, there's videos where they're certainly there during design and build and placing, but all right.
Then again, I can see how you might, if you're paying for the thing, you might have enough money to hire a patsy to be the guy to actually live there and, put his actual liberty on the line.
Yep. So whatever, it's not going to make a difference. We're hoping to bring tourism to Phuket and with an underwater restaurant, floating hotels, medical research, tech shops, etc. He writes, "We had 3 healthy entrepreneurs in the past week tell us they were coming to live in Phuket because they were excited about the project. We love Thailand. Nadia is a proud Thai. She's a proud Buddhist who does not support violence. I'm a pacifist who would not harm a fly." L. Wartowski Wartowski's post calls for legal help in negotiating with the Thai government regarding any possible punishment he and Summergirl might face. We just wanted to be free, if just for one day. And I love this quote. We just wanted to be free, if just for one day. And no, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot be free if just for one day.
Not if the governments of the world have their way.
Right, if the governments of the world. Because really, operationally, what's the difference between Thai government and the United States government in this circumstance? If you attempt to put some kind of non-governmental thing out there in the water, and you're going to become, at some point or another, you're going to become some kind of community out there, the United States government's going to say, yeah, we're in charge here. And, you're going to have to pay, you're going to have to comply, you're going to have to do this, and you're going to have to do that.
Yeah,
it's
and
all
being
the
a
same.
state is no protection against that. That's exactly what they said in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria and Libya and all over Africa, all over South America, openly and covertly. The theme is always the same. We're in charge here. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, the U.S. government has a right to control you.
Yeah, that's basically, that's true. And obviously the U.S. government shouldn't be the one singled out here in this article about the Thai government's misbehavior. But it's fair.
Absolutely.
It's fair to point out that the state is an organization. I'm quoting Barack Obama here. I'm not making this up myself. It's true, but I'm quoting him in this circumstance. Is what sets a nation state apart is the claim of a monopoly on violence.
He actually said that?
I think he said this is the monopoly on violence, and he used the word claim. I say it's a claim because, how can you have legitimacy of a claim on violence?
Wow. See, that's one of those cases where even a stopped clock is right twice a day.
Right, it absolutely is. So there's a great YouTube video.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The Free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. themorganreport.com. themorganreport.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise. This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're welcome to call in about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Rich Paul.
And we'll get right back to this story about the Thai government invading this nation seastead that was going on out there. But I want to get to your calls. First, Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. So that means that they collect news stories from around the world. And one of them I read today was because they've got stories on science, technology, historical findings, Liberty News, government overspending, the rise of the police state, all kinds of stuff, was apparently they've tracked some people that were buried in Stonehenge, and so they know where they came from, which was sort of the Middle East around Syria, and sort of tracked through
Are you serious?
Along the Mediterranean and up there. So, I mean, they lived in England at the time, but I mean, they had gone to sort of the people, the lineage, the heritage, genealogy had tracked along the Mediterranean up to Britain, all at that same time frame. And so it's pretty cool.
How about the date on that? Do you know?
I know. No, it was 4,000 years ago, so 2000 BC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some time ago. Obviously, and you can find great stories like I do, and I got that through their daily dispatch, which they send out there because I signed up years ago for it, and I look forward to it. Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com. By the way, I had to use some search site to find Phoenix because I simply can't spell it. freedomsphoenix.com. Let's go to Dave calling in from New Hampshire. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Gentlemen, I have an update on Carla Garrick.
Ah. Well, tell me what happened, and then tell me what the update is.
Oh, nothing bad. Carla Garrick is a police accountability activist in Manchester, New Hampshire. She's also a Free Stater, and she has been she's going to be doing policing of her own later this month. In fact, she's been doing it about a week. They're doing not policing against people, but against garbage. They're trying to clean up Manchester by doing litter pickups on a different street each time.
Okay. So how's that going?
I don't know how many people are turning out, but at least she's doing something.
Yeah, I mean it's good to have people picking up garbage. I don't know what it's going to do to make us freer, but there you go. It's certainly it's good PR.
Yeah.
Dave?
I'm having trouble hearing you. I don't know if you can hear me, but that's about all I have to tell you.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Dave. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
The wonders of modern conveniences. Sometimes these communication devices, they just don't work the way you want them to. No problem. I've got show prep. So, as I'd said in the previous segment, that the Thai government has gone and taken over basically a houseboat that was floating around 13 miles out of the outside the international border of Thailand, and basically they threatened these people and scared the heck out of them, and they left. So. Just quoting the guy here, he says, that's L. Wartowski guy. He says, we just wanted to be free, if just for one day. Ocean Builders, the company responsible for placing the seastead, their post on the crackdown says the seastead is in the process of being demolished by the Thai Navy, and reiterates that although Chad and Nadia, that's the couple there, are safe for now, understand that Thailand is currently being run by a military dictator. There will be no trial if they are caught. They already demonstrated that by being judge, jury, and executioner of the historic first seastead. So the Thai government apparently claims that the seastead was a hazard to shipping lanes. Ocean Builders' response to that is the seastead is 6 meters wide. It has a very bright anchor beacon and is a registered AIS beacon that can be detected by any boat with any sort of navigation in the vicinity. The group further says that the seastead was in a heavy fishing area with many, many fishing boats trawling the water there daily. The fishing boat captains used to wave at Nadia and Chad as they passed. By the way, they did some trade with them. They bought fish and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And they were in no way bothered by the floating home. The seastead takes up less space in the shipping lane than a fishing boat. Plans to sell and build new seasteads by Ocean Builders around Thailand are on hold.
One would imagine.
Yeah. L. Wartowski has told me in the past, and this is the author here, that by his understanding, the law did not require them to get the Thai government's permission to be where they were, what they were doing, and what they did. Apparently, the Thai government disagrees. In an email responding to her, and I tend to agree with Chad L. Wartowski on this, but the governments don't follow laws.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I was thinking, is there any international court where you can even sue a national government?
There are, but it's not going to be of any use. If the government doesn't ascribe to that the International Criminal Court, then they don't care. And if they decide to withdraw because of a ruling, they can.
Yeah. And the United States, for example, does not.
The United States does not. If the United States,
I guess banana republics don't.
If you set up a seastead outside 13 miles out from the United States ports or whatever, and they decide to say, we're annexing that little bit. That's right. You're under our control now. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I mean,
what could you possibly
join
do
the millions of Americans who have had their stuff stolen by government?
Yep, government just does what it wants to do. It's just a bunch of unaccountable people working in an inefficient system functioning as a criminal gang, the most successful criminal gang in a given geographic area. They don't like that assertion, but what's the difference? Yeah. What's the difference between a criminal gang and a government? I mean, they have rules written down. They have systems for determining things, but ultimately the laws they pass aren't for them. They don't pass laws of themselves that they follow. They pass laws on you that you're to follow. This is a nation of laws. Well, only for the serfs.
Shepard Book from Firefly said that government is just a body of men, usually notably ungoverned.
Right, highly ungoverned. So, anyway, in an email responding to a request for comment today, El Wartowski says that he and Summer Girl, that's his woman that was with him. I don't propose to know their relationship. We're on shore enjoying the Thai festival of Songkran. Terribly sorry for any Thai people out there. I have no idea what that is.
Were they tying one on?
They were tying one on. We read on a Thai TV site about our project. It was basically a combination of various articles, but it started out with the threat to national security. And when we read this, we immediately knew that they were preparing to do something.
Well, they were clearly fit to be tied.
The media in Thailand is a mouthpiece for the government, so they were setting the narrative to be accepted by the Thai people. He wrote, he initially heard and believed that the seastead had been demolished and decided when associates told him the Thai military would be gunning for him, we bugged out.
And apparently it was demolished by Thai fighters?
Yeah, so... Anyway, Thai fighters, that's funny. We don't know at this point, but that's a good pun. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE as in Free Talk Live.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. Call in about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Rich Paul.
Tell you about the Edge wallet. So, if you've heard about cryptocurrency...
How did you find time to develop this thing?
They just took my name.
Oh, okay.
It is the best named wallet in cryptodom.
Very edgy.
It is edgy. The Edge wallet is it's good for the iOS and Android, and if you have cryptocurrency, you have to have a wallet to put it in. For those that don't know, I endorse this wallet. I say it's the best wallet, and I've got lots of good reasons. So, for one, and I think this is important for any wallet you choose, you want to have it user controlled. You don't want to have what they call a custodial wallet, where somebody else keeps your money. I lost something like 15 Bitcoins, I think it was. Maybe it was 25 Bitcoins.
Oh!
Can't remember what the number was in the My Bitcoin Wallet fiasco, and I think this was in 2011.
Okay. Now, how did this fiasco play out?
Basically, it was a website where they gave you a Bitcoin address, you sent them the money, and then when you needed to withdraw, you did.
Okay.
It was just somebody else's wallet. It was a custodial wallet, so they kept they had custody of your Bitcoin.
And then they went away?
And then they got hacked. I'm using air quotes here.
Right.
And then after they got and said, sorry, all the Bitcoin's gone, we have nothing. Oh, well. And then the people who had some Bitcoin there said, hey, Bitcoin's about one of the things that people could do with an anonymous currency, and in 2011 it certainly was anonymous. An anonymous currency is they could put a hit out on somebody. I think you should find that cryptocurrency. And they're like, oh, we found it. We found half. And so they kept half, and they gave back half.
They bought their butts back.
Yeah, they did. So anyway, I got half mine back. I'm just saying you shouldn't have to deal with that.
I hate it when that happens.
You won't have to deal with that with the Edge wallet. In the Edge wallet, you can buy Bitcoin, you can sell Bitcoin, you can trade Bitcoin, you can securely hold, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, all cryptocurrencies that are out there, all the major cryptocurrencies, basically. You'd be surprised at the number. Ethereum and Monero and Ripple and a bunch of ones that you wouldn't even expect. They're a veteran team. They've been building since 2014, and you can go get it. Just go to edge.app, EDGE, edge.app, edge.app, and it's great. I think the best feature about this, besides controlling your own currency, because lots of them could do that, is that you don't have to memorize long series of words to secure your Bitcoin. You just have to have a username and password. Everybody's familiar with that. It's the easiest one to use, edge.app there. Let's go to Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes, I just want to say that our state, New Mexico, we need to increase our legislative session to like 6 months per year.
Why do you want to give those criminals more time to talk?
Well, I mean, think about it. It's 1 month, 1 year, and then 2 month session another year.
Okay.
So, I mean, how do we get anything done with it being so short? I mean, I'll ask you, who has the shortest session in America other than New Mexico? Like,
I don't
do you
know
any other state
that have that short of a legislative session? Not off the top of my head, but honestly, what I look for in a government is one that doesn't function very well. So I find that to be an advantage. It, however, has not moved Mexico up the list of freest states in America. So they've managed to do some really tyrannical things, even though they're not on the list.
No man's life, liberty, or property is safe while the legislature is in session.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Who was that? Mark Twain, I think?
Probably Samuel Clemens.
Well, but I'm just saying. But and another thing is we have a special session like every year. So there's nothing special about it when they have to have another. They run out of time. They can't get nothing done, so they have to have a special session. But again, Mark, I'm reaching out to our listeners, our New Mexico listeners.
Well, I don't know how many
I'm
of
not talking to
there
you
are.
guys.
But I mean, so I have to approach this as a general topic, Sarah, as opposed to a New Mexican topic, because I have not only New Mexico as listeners, but 49 other states. So I have to look at this as the standpoint of, is it a good idea for legislators to have longer or shorter sessions? And, although I have no control over how long the legislative sessions are in New Mexico, I'd say that it looks like they're getting plenty done there.
I mean, they have run out a lot of times, and they have to have a special session. And what I'm saying is that this worked, like I said, 100 years ago. 100 years ago, it was fine to meet up for a month and do everything and go back on your horse for 2 weeks and go back to Roswell or Las Cruces, 3 weeks on a horse. But now we have like 30 times the population. The problem is we cannot get anything done. I mean, as efficiently, as we should. And New Mexico is like, we're always the bottom of the list. For all the good things, we're on the bottom of the list.
Sarah, I'm always scared of people who use the term efficiency with government. I mean, government is the least efficient organizational model known to man. And no one will argue with that. I mean, they're not efficient. They're useful in so much as you can force other people to behave as you wish them to be. They're an organization of force, no doubt. But as far as efficiency goes, it's hard to use that term to describe government, isn't it?
Well, whatever you think, but that's what we have now.
I guess what I would ask here is what do you think about this article we're reading in Reason.com? 2 people set up a houseboat 13 miles out. That's in the international waters outside of Thailand, and the Thai government said they're a threat to security, so they sent the Navy out after them. They're attempting to charge them with a crime that has the death penalty, basically treason. So, what do you think?
Well, I'm a communist, and you guys are libertarian. I have a different take on that. I think we need government.
But what about that? What about that action, though?
So what? They were making what on the waters?
A houseboat. They had a houseboat.
A houseboat.
Yep.
I don't know. It sounds like a stupid nonsense.
The death penalty for a houseboat is acceptable?
But I do not really know.
A government, Sarah, a government that can take one thing from you can take anything from you. Because if they are justified in using force to take 1 penny from me, then they're justified in using force to take every penny I own, right? I mean, like, either way. There's
what point do you have?
Are you aware that Are you aware that in pursuit of economic control, the communists killed 100 million people in the last century? I mean, that's like almost 10 times Hitler. How can you still, now that you guys have accidentally whacked 100 million people, what should make us trust you enough to take another whack at it?
All the lives that were lost in communism, I do not think that it's a communist I think people died in revolution. I think that's the reason why there are so many lives lost.
Well, actually, that's not the case. I mean, it's well documented that Stalin came into the Ukraine, which was once the breadbasket of Europe, took all of the grain, literally left zero for the farmers, and let them starve to death. Now, why did he do that? He did that because they were what he called class criminals. That means they used to be prosperous before he starved them to death. That was their crime. You know, the communist mind sees wealth as sin and wipes it out. Wipes it out. And then you wonder why communist countries are always starving. Haven't you noticed that when you leave people alone, they never, ever starve to death? But every time you idiots try to implement communism, people starve to death. Why don't you stop?
Give her a second here. Sarah, you got 10 seconds.
I don't know. You know what? I think that's a bunch of baloney, as far as I'm concerned. It's just propaganda machine. You guys twist everything.
Free Talk Live.
You guys
Thanks.
twist everything.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When a client calls, what do you want them to hear? Your personal voicemail?
Hey, you've reached Greg's cell phone. I'm away right now, obviously. Leave a message and maybe I'll get back to you.
Or something a little more buttoned up, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Thanks for calling Green Landscaping. To make an appointment, dial 1. For billing, dial 2. To speak with Greg Smith, dial 3.
There's no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
What's in store for your business this week at Staples?
The future of printing is here, and so are the savings.
The reinvented HP OfficeJet Pro printers are now at Staples.
They're smart, mobile, and secure.
So you can easily print, scan, and copy remotely from your mobile device.
And now at Staples, save up to 20% on the all-new HP OfficeJet Pro printers.
Plus, save up to $50 more in store when you trade in your old printer.
Staples, there's a whole lot in store.
Ends 5/4/19. See store or staples.com/HP OfficeJet Pro to learn more.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Call in and talk live. That's what we do here. I'll tell you about our Discord chat. If you go to discord.freetalklive.com, you can download the app there. It's on your phone, and not only can you chat with the hundreds and maybe thousands, I don't know, lots of people that are subscribed to that. Lots of people that are subscribed to that. But you can also call in. We have a system there. Basically, it's a voice over IP system, and like Skype, if you guys are familiar. But it works a lot
Except
easier.
not run by Microsoft.
Yeah, it works better. And we got rid of Skype basically just functionally just got impossible to use on the air.
Well, also, any big company like Microsoft is going to violate your privacy if they're asked to.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to pay $1 billion for you to be free.
That's the truth. So if you go there, download the app, you can call in. You'll sound great. The voice quality is significantly better than phone lines, but please do that. It's discord.freetalklive.com. Going on with this story from Reason Magazine about the Thai Navy apparently feeling threatened and invading what they call a seastead, which is a houseboat.
I've actually got a recap for what happened. Do we have time for it?
What is it?
Well, a man with a tie tied up his houseboat near Thailand. The Thai were fit to be tied and dispatched Thai fighters to sink the house beneath the tides.
That's exactly it. Yeah, there you go. So here the guy, L. Wartowski, Chad, says, I'm just going to go Chad, says that as of now, the Thai government has not yet moved or destroyed the seastead, as the beacon is still broadcasting from the same spot. So we're getting some kind of conflicting stories about it. And by the way, this is from yesterday, so I can't guarantee that they have not yet done anything at this point. Not my thing. Just reading a story here.
We don't have a man on the scene?
We don't have a man on the scene.
Where's our guy? Where's our guy
coming
out
to you
there?
live from the helicopter flying above the seastead.
Back to you, Mark.
Just like that. So Patri Friedman, who's the founder of the Seasteading Institute, co-author of the book Seasteading, How Floating Nations Will Restore the Environment, Enrich the Poor, Cure the Sick, and Liberate Humanity from Politicians. He's also the
That sounds groovy.
Yeah, it's great stuff, right? He's also the grandson of Milton Friedman.
Really?
Yes.
That's one of my heroes. He made me a libertarian.
Milton Friedman is great. I'd say his son David Friedman is a better thinker, if not a better communicator of the ideas. Milton Friedman's hard to argue with. It was a really great communicator, you know?
Uncle Milty was a fantastic communicator. Yeah. And he managed to put things like, a lot of times when people talk about free markets, they sound mean.
Yeah.
And he was great at not sounding mean. And, and of maintaining, like, he used the phrase all the time, people of goodwill. People of goodwill can agree that higher standards of living are better than lower standards of living. And he always managed to maintain that, what is that term from debate? There's pathos.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't study these terms because I don't want to get hung up on them.
Oh, okay. It's
I'll let you think about it.
Okay.
So in his book, Patri Friedman has written in a Facebook post describing the mistakes he feels Chad's team made. While their location was 12 nautical miles out from Thailand, he notes, it is still in what is legally considered the country's contiguous zone. Where a state has many rights, several of which seem to likely pertain here, he adds that even being 200 miles from land does not necessarily create a magical realm of freedom where you can just plant a flag and be independent of polity. There are many rules and regulations that apply, including the need to plug into international law through the flagging system for a vessel or coastal state approval for a fixed structure. Friedman also writes that anyone trying that strategy needs to be aware that they would be outside all human systems of legal rights, with zero rights other than what you yourself can enforce with your diplomatic, economic, and military power.
And this is why the Second Amendment should cover recreational nukes.
Against anyone like a nation state who would bother you in any way. Sorry, I didn't have the
well,
the
it
commas
is
in the right place
true
there.
that you can expect to be without protection against nation states or pirates. The thing that I don't understand is what justifies the nation states acting like pirates.
Pirates and emperors.
What are they really afraid of? Somebody's living. I mean, if somebody had a big yacht anchored out there, would they do the same thing? How does a houseboat suddenly become bad?
It's simply the rhetoric. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's quite simply the rhetoric. If the person on the houseboat said, "I'm free of government influence, come out and park," I'm sorry, the person with the yacht says, "I'm free of government influence, come out here and park near me. We're going to create our own little community of people who are free from government influence," they'd receive the same problems because it's the threat to the nation state that they feel.
Have you seen that John McAfee has designated his yacht as his 2020 campaign headquarters? Probably for very similar reasons. I mean, I don't know if Hillary Clinton's running, but I wouldn't want to run against her while being under the jurisdiction of the U.S. government.
Well,
she's got a lot of lackeys and cronies out there.
When you find that the news story where John McAfee's yacht blows up, you'll know what happened.
Well, that's the thing. I've thought of that too. It doesn't really make you harder to kill when, you know, your potential murderer has satellites in orbit that can, you know, take you out very reliably without what they like to euphemistically call collateral damage.
I don't know. It'd be kind of hard to find the right boat. I mean, you'd have to have a lot of intelligence to find the right boat.
I don't
if they track
know.
If they're tracking all the time, maybe, but they really don't have that yet that I know of. They don't have like a satellite all the time, you know, videotaping what's going on.
Well, I assume, I mean, he is a computer hardware guy or a computer software guy, but a computer security guy. So I guess he is probably able to shut off whatever transponders that boat has. I mean, most boats have transponders that are going most of the time.
They have beacons you can turn on in an emergency. They have VHF or UHF receivers that and broadcasters that they can, you know, you can pick up talk on the walkie-talkie kind of thing, marine band radios. They have radar, and in the sense that they're looking for boats, and radar in the sense that they're looking for weather, but they don't really. Yeah, there's not what. Having a 35-foot catamaran and having sailed it from New London, Connecticut to Sarasota, Florida, I can tell you there wasn't some map that we could buy that had all the boats broadcasting their transponder beacons at any given time.
Oh, that's definitely true. And nobody in their right mind would do that because, you know, there are pirates out there. Pirates are still a real thing. They always will be.
Well, that's what you said. Pirates. It reminded me. What's that St. Augustine quote? Pirates and emperors are, you know, basically the same thing. There's a really great Schoolhouse Rock parody called Pirates and Emperors. If you ever have a chance to watch it, just go to YouTube, search Pirates and Emperors.
Oh, I'll definitely check that out.
And it is so awesome, especially the first half of it or so, where they basically just go and compare pirates and politicians. what's the difference ultimately between these people? In the case, St. Augustine says, I guess St. Augustine's reporting on what a pirate said, and basically, what meanest thou to, hold me in contempt for seizing, for sailing on a ship when, thou hast a navy? What meanest thou, when something taking possession of the hostile possession of the seas, when you take the hostile possession of the whole earth? And Briley just lays it out that the pirate to, I can't remember whether I think it was Alexander or whatever, more or less just laid it out that there's really no difference. You have this veil of legitimacy in the form of a crown, and that's the only difference.
A pirate is not always a hero, but a ruler is always a villain.
I wouldn't say that a pirate's generally a hero. Sometimes they write good stories.
That's the thing.
Jack Sparrow's a great pirate.
So you could conceivably have a Ragnar
Lothbrok.
What?
Ragnar Lothbrok.
Was that his name from Atlas Shrugged?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the Viking conqueror.
No, I was thinking about her pirate who just sank aid ships.
I read Fountainhead, and I never made it all the way through Atlas Shrugged. Sorry.
Oh, I loved it.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450. Free as in Free Talk Live.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-919-5435. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-919-5435. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-919-5435. 1-800-919-5435.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,276, silver at $15, and Bitcoin is trading around $5,211. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday vetoed a bill passed by Congress to end U.S. military assistance to Saudi Arabia for its war in Yemen. The U.S. provides billions of dollars of sophisticated weapons to the Saudi-led coalition. Members of Congress, led mostly by U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, have expressed outrage over the thousands of civilians killed in coalition airstrikes since the conflict began. Minpress News reports the fighting in the Arab world's poorest country has left millions suffering from food and medical care shortages and has pushed the country to the brink of famine. Responding to Trump's veto, the Norwegian Refugee Council said that if Trump was truly concerned about civilian life, he would ensure that the U.S.-supported Saudi-led coalition stop breaking the laws of war and depriving millions of Yemenis of life-saving assistance, and that the United States is deepening and prolonging the crisis, and civilians are paying the price. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices, with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The government of Ecuador claims that the country has come under a broad and concerted cyber attack, with approximately 40 million attempts to compromise web portals connected to public institutions ever since the controversial decision to allow UK police to forcibly remove WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange from their London embassy. Activist Post reports that Deputy Minister of Information and Communication Technologies, Patricio Real, told reporters that the wave of attacks began shortly after last Thursday's arrest of Assange by British authorities. Real said the attacks principally come from the United States, Brazil, Holland, Germany, Romania, France, Austria, and the United Kingdom, and also from Ecuador. On April 11th, Ecuadorian President Lenin Moreno revoked the diplomatic asylum extended to Assange by the South American nation in 2012. Instagram has begun blocking pages belonging to Iran's Islamic Revolution Guard Corps, following the organization's official listing as a foreign terrorist organization, or FTO, on Monday. The anti-media reports the commander of the IRGC's elite force finally had his page blocked following this week's designation. He had maintained the account for 2.5 years, for which he frequently posted anti-American political messages and threats. The IRGC's official page was also blocked, which had nearly 1 million subscribers. Instagram had never previously moved to permanently shut down Commander Soleimani's account, despite him being individually designated as a foreign terrorist by the U.S. Treasury back in 2011, although it had been temporarily blocked several times in the past for violating the platform's rules. Among a number of prior threatening images, last year posted an artistic rendering of himself standing in front of the White House, depicted as being on fire after an explosion. Soleimani had over 100,000 Instagram followers, compared to President Hassan Rouhani's 2.2 million, although the latter's account is still active. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
We turn to Washington, D.C., where America's roommates are holding a rally as part of their new One Vote Doesn't Matter political action campaign. The rally, which drew thousands of roommates, ranging from the guy who keeps all of his groceries in his room to the guy whose name the lease is under, is just a part of a surging grassroots movement to spread the message that one person's vote can't make a difference if you really, really think about it.
You know, this is like the most important election of our lifetime. We just want to get the word out that it's already been decided in some smoke-filled boardroom. You know, I pretty much minored in poli-sci, so I think I get this stuff.
Joining us now is Jason Copeland at a rally in the nation's capital. Jason, how would you describe the energy there?
Yeah, hi, Andrea. I'd say it's a definite chill vibe. I just saw the roommate whose only friend seems to be his younger brother and the guy who just has an air mattress in his room passing out flyers together. Now, the roommates do make some interesting points. The Electoral College it is weird.
This is the Onion News Network.
can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
I can't hear you as well as I could.
Well, I don't want to tell you. I can turn up your your headphones if you'd like.
Okay, now.
Yeah. There. That's the issue.
Okay,
everything's fine. I always turn. You're using my normal headphones, and I'm an advocate for ear health, and I keep them down real low. I just want to be able to hear the minimum. I don't want to be blasted out. So that's,
I keep them up real high because it's too late for me.
Yeah. Could be the reason.
I should have listened to you 20 years before I met you.
It's Mark with you. It's Mark with you.
And Rich Paul.
Thank you very much. Let's go right to the phones. It's Reviler calling in from Florida. Rev, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, my friends. I made a promise to some other people there that I wouldn't call. I just had to this one time since those people are not there. I don't want to call in and bash other callers, but it's relevant. Sarah, she's good entertainment. I thought she was a nice lady. Now I think she's a butthole. I mean, she's an admitted communist. Thank you, Rich, for pointing out that the commies, if anything, were bigger scumbags than the Nazis, killing literally, like you said, 10 times the amount of Hitler. And you just gave her the information, which she can find from numerous sources, and she's still delusional. So tell me again why communists should not be fed into wood chippers.
Because,
I think it's the Streisand
The
rule.
thing is, some of them can be repaired, and the reason that I say that is that when I was 18, I would have described myself as a Marxist. And
I would have described myself at one point as basically not a Marxist, but a communist.
And there were a number of thinkers who led me away from Marxism. The first being, of course, Karl Marx. When I actually read him and read things like The Dictatorship of the Proletariat, I just had this Kramer voice in my head going, I don't like the sound of that. And basically reading Robert Heinlein when he wrote about the Soviet Union gave me the idea that the dictatorship of the proletariat has turned out just about the way it sounds like it would.
Well, that's essentially what the Democratic Party is looking for here in the United States, and not much different than the Republican Party is looking for here in the United States.
Well, that is the
Right.
That is the result of democracy.
Yeah.
That is when they say that communism is indivisible from democracy, I agree that it is. And the reason is because it's easier to make poor people than it is to make rich people.
Oh, yeah.
So all you have to do is make enough poor people, and then you can vote away whatever the rich people have amassed. And with nobody accumulating capital, of course, there are no businesses to work in, there are no jobs, there's no production, there's nothing to eat, and everybody dies.
Yeah, and what you just said there is one of the reasons that one of the few open racists such as myself, who was raised in a multicultural home, by the way, and who does not hate all of any group of people, but, when you recognize more... Well, you recognize, it's simple, Mark, you recognize more patterns of trash, so to speak, in certain groups than others, and you recognize one group at the top that we won't mention. They tend to wear funny little hats that, are kind of conducting all this. But the point is, real quick to what Rich just said, yeah, I think at one point, I was a big SJW and all this stuff. I think I was a borderline, cultural Marxist, at least. But really quickly, there's this cognitive dissonance. I'll get off the phone here soon, too. But if you study the tenets of Marxism and you read Marx, like I know you guys have, and a lot of your listeners have probably been exposed to it, but the average dolt, the average little college butthole that wants to be rebellious or something and stick it to their Trump-voting parents and calls themselves a communist, right? Look at it. It talks about the dissolution of private property. It talks about the centralization of communication. Again, the Nazis are
it's
not
basically
the
home.
nicest people.
If you're a 17-year-old, you pretty much are living in a communist dictatorship. You're getting the mommy and daddy. Thanks for the call, Rev.
I think of it as even more like a school than a home.
Yeah.
Because it's like, everything is controlled by the government.
Maybe that's a good analogy, but I think that in many cases what's attractive about communism and socialism to some extent, and I don't think the Jews have anything to do with it, whatever Rev might say, I don't care. That sounds like nonsense to me.
I mean,
whatever.
Marx was descended from Jews, but who cares?
Right, whatever. Lots of libertarians are Jewish too.
So is Ludwig von Mises, Murray Rothbard,
Hayek,
Milton Friedman.
Right. Libertarianism owns its philosophy too.
Ayn Rand.
Was she Jewish?
Yes, she was a Russian Jew.
I had no idea. But I don't. Why? Because I don't pay attention to that stuff. But somebody posted today on Facebook that said something like, "More Americans support what the Democrats are calling Medicare for all." Now they don't want to say single payer health care. They don't want to say socialized medicine. They call it Medicare for all, and they're saying more Americans appreciate it or want it. Well, so what? If we, what I responded to, well, let's take a poll of high school sophomores and ask them what they think about, how brain surgery should be done. I don't care what ignoramuses think on a subject.
Yeah.
I care about what experts think, but ultimately, when it comes to economics, most people, the experts disagree too.
Well, the other thing is, whatever somebody has, think of any prosperous person, think of Donald Trump, and do a poll. Do you want what this guy has? They'll be like, yeah.
Yep.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Yep.
Why not?
Sure.
And that's the thing. Why not? If I can jack him with impunity, why not jack him? Why not jack everything he has?
Sure.
And the answer is because that kills the goose that lays the golden egg. He's not going to produce anything more once you've jacked it a couple of times.
But what does anyone care? As long as their life is okay, what do they care? Because when you start,
unless you're terminally ill, you should be thinking past a 6-month time horizon, and there comes a time.
It's probably more than that. I mean,
it depends. There's a lot of fat in the United States,
right? Venezuela, not as much.
Yeah, and Venezuela though was a very rich country. It was the richest country in South America before Hugo Chavez took over. That's the amazing thing, and now the literal starvation.
Now, to be fair, the other side, the other side of the coin in the United States is basically this crony capitalism, this corporatism, whatever terminology you wish to describe what passes for capitalism in the United States, is also impoverishing to people.
It is impoverishing to some people, and it's enriching to a lot of the wrong people when you have crony capitalism. A lot of people who aren't really producing, they're not makers, they're takers. And the idea of capitalism is that the wealth should go to the makers, not the takers.
Right. And the trickle-down economics, which I know people hate this term. It's now very out of vogue. But the thing is they never tried trickle-down economics.
Well,
they used trickle-down economics as a blind, as a ruse to rob people.
I mean, trickle-down economics was always a straw man, and it's a theory that never had a proponent. It only had opponents, okay? And that's the mark of a straw man in public debate.
Didn't Reagan have, wasn't Reagan a proponent?
Reagan never used the phrase trickle-down economics. David Stockman never used it, who is Reagan's economist, I believe.
Okay.
I hope I got that name right. It's been a long time since Reagan. But no, none of those guys ever actually used it. It was coined by some Democrat because it sounds ridiculous. Trickle down. It implies that just a trickle is coming down. And what economists are really talking about when they talk about economic growth is more John F. Kennedy, a rising tide raises all boats. Okay, we're back on the ocean now.
Well, the problem with that is that people are now, even though poor people are better off around the world than they ever have been in the course of human history, somehow it's still a problem because the wealth gap is growing.
Well,
but let me explain the wealth gap very quickly. If my income is $100 an hour and yours is $10 an hour, and we both see a doubling of our income, I have $200 an hour, you have $20 an hour. We both have had our income double. But the wealth gap has also doubled in between us. And now that's unfair and a disparagement, even though you're twice as wealthy as you were. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
Go to themorganreport.com and receive updates and insights you will not find anywhere else on the web. You will discover how to grow and protect your wealth under all market conditions. The Free Morgan Report provides interviews, webinars, question and answer sessions, plus mind-blowing videos. As David Morgan says, let my passion create your wealth. Themorganreport.com. Themorganreport.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Talk Live. Call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Rich Paul.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE as in Free Talk Live. Bitcoin.com is your premier source for everything Bitcoin related. So if you're just a neophyte getting into cryptocurrency, well, head on over to Bitcoin.com and check out all the news, right? They are huge proponents of Bitcoin Cash, which is the Bitcoin that's best used, most designed as a cryptocurrency as opposed to like a store of value. But they also give great news on other crypto ventures that are going on out there, and they're agnostic as far as the technology when it comes to the philosophy behind it. Now, if you've got a philosophy that's messed up behind your cryptocurrency, they'll be certain to call it out. If you've got flawed technology, they'll be happy to mention that. And I'm glad that they do. But what you need information about how to get a wallet, where to buy Bitcoin, how to spend Bitcoin, places like saveatpurse.com. Bitcoin.com allows you to do that. And if you've been around for a while, they've got the latest news. They've actually got a Telegram chat if you want to get your news delivered right when it comes out. Or you can engage with the community at the Bitcoin Forum. Learn more at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Yeah, I do most of my trade in Bitcoin Cash.
There was recently a bump up in transactions. Back to heading back up, more transactions going on in cryptocurrency, and you saw transaction fees on the major network BTC go up to $1.25. Who wants to buy something and like if you buy a cup of coffee or a hamburger, which you can do here in Keene, New Hampshire, right downtown? Well, why would you want to pay an extra $1.25? Who wants to do that? With Bitcoin Cash, you're paying like if it's 2 cents, it's probably less than that.
See, I'm bitter against BTC, and the reason that I'm bitter against BTC is when the futures market came online, when Bitcoin was getting press after press after press, that should have been the moment in the sun for cryptocurrency, and it easily could have been if the people running BTC had just swallowed their pride and installed the kludge of doubling the block size or even tripling the block size just to buy them enough time to find the right solution, because then the devil wouldn't have been at the door. But when you've got people waiting 2 weeks because you wouldn't make this simple tweak to your transaction, and you've got transactions not clearing for 2 weeks, that means that the development team has chosen to willfully drop the ball for people who entrusted them with their money. And I am completely with Roger Ver when I say that Bitcoin Cash follows the true Bitcoin philosophy, because I think the basis of the true Bitcoin philosophy is make it work. And Bitcoin Cash made it work and made it economical.
Yeah, they did it pretty quickly. They took a beating during what we've recently called crypto winter as far as pricing goes, but all coins did. But they went down against the original BTC. However, my prediction has always been, they basically held steady at this point, relatively recently, and they saw a recent run up. But my point has always been, when the run up occurs, Bitcoin Cash will perform 20% better than a Bitcoin, 20% better or better. And
well, it certainly should, because the coin itself performs 100 times better. I mean, I bought some Bitcoin Cash from a friend, just cash out of his wallet, and it cleared in seconds.
Yeah.
Dash clears in seconds. Yep. Bitcoin, last I looked at it, I don't look at it much, didn't clear in seconds. It cleared in maybe minutes. Maybe, is it still sometimes hours?
It's probably it would to fully clear, it would have to be an hour generally. But right now it's performing okay because there's not a lot of traffic on the network. But I think that the Bitcoin BTC team, this term Bitcoin's difficult to nail down, because anything that came from the Bitcoin line is a Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin Cash is Bitcoin, BTC is Bitcoin, whatever. So Bitcoin,
everything's Bitcoin. It's become a generic term.
So basically, they're calling it a store of value, and I think that it functions as that. Hopefully, it will hold value, but it became valuable because it was a cryptocurrency, and now it doesn't function like one, so I find that to be a problem. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be right.
Yeah, I don't see it as being a store of value because I don't see it as offering any value. That can't be, I look at a cryptocurrency as more or less each coin is a share of stock, and the company is this distributed group of people that is making the product work, that's making the network work. And they're valuable for the same reason that PayPal is valuable, because they're operating this thing at a profit. And there's no reason for BTC to be worth 10 times what BCH is, or I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be trading at about the same level.
If you should look into this, listener, you should look into this disagreement. You may come up with different.
This is not financial advice. I'm not even me. I'm playing a character here.
if you,
I'm Friar Rich.
The place to start your research, I believe, is Bitcoin.com. If you don't know anything about this, find out more. Go to Bitcoin.com. You can find out more. And I just want to finish up real quick. We had this article that we were talking about in the last hour about the Thai government going after the seastead out in the middle of the Indian Ocean, 13 miles from Thailand in international waters. And there's a little last bit here. Patri Friedman, the grandson of Milton Friedman, has also been set up the Seasteading Institute, founder of the Seasteading Institute, and he has some comments on the Thai Navy coming after, just sort of saying, hey, it's not as easy as just setting up a houseboat in international waters. He says, until seasteading is big enough to change the system, Patri concludes, our beliefs about what international law should be, our imagined individual rights, or our perception that the nation state is unjust, they're all irrelevant to present strategy. We need to acknowledge the system in which we'll be working for the next 10 to 30 years, because only with a clear understanding of the present can we create our desired future.
So the question is, what exactly do you have to do? Do you have to obtain a black market nuke in order to be taken seriously, or
lots of nations don't have nukes?
Yeah, I guess that's true, but they kind of get grandfathered in.
Yep.
And it seems like a lot of governments are actually not run by the government themselves. They're like somebody else's puppet.
I tend to wonder, I think that there's basically 3, 4 sovereign nations in the world. Certainly a handful. There's a handful of sovereign nations, and the rest are just provinces, really.
Yeah, they're hegemons.
855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Has your body ever gone low blood sugar, feeling weak, shaky, knowing you better eat something fast? We all know high blood sugar can lead to many metabolic problems. At GCNteam.com, we have a healthy blood sugar pack, focusing on the structure and function of stable blood sugar. Find us at GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Nothing feels worse than unstable blood sugar. Call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens. We support the amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Jeunesse products are designed by leading doctors in their field with natural ingredients and even stem cell technology. These products help your body perform and look better. Shop Jeunesse at GCNlife.com or call 1-844-443-6637. GCNlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
An alarming new study finds that people suffering from stress-related disorders react poorly to being trapped in underwater elevators. A tired 398-month-old throws a tantrum, and a little clay thing is purchased at an arts festival. And now an eerily perfect recap of this week's news. The Catholic Church reversed its long-held stance against gay marriage this week after meeting Connecticut couple Tony and Craig. The vacationing pair dazzled the Pope and assorted clergy with their witty conversation and true loving affection for each other, leading Vatican officials to conclude that love is love and it's silly to put restrictions on it in this day and age. The Chinese people announced that they would be willing to forgive most of the United States' $1.16 trillion debt if Americans agreed to dress up in costumes and perform silly dances for them. Chinese officials encouraged U.S. citizens to wear sequined vests and prance around while slapping their big fat American tummies, promising that the more humiliating the performance, the more debt will be erased. In sports, NASCAR fans are deeply puzzled by a mysterious black family seen attending multiple races.
This is the Onion News.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. You're free to call in, talk about whatever you want here, live on the radio. If it's between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we are here, doing our thing on Free Talk Live. And you're welcome to call in. It's open to you. It's Mark with you.
And Rich Paul.
So, I don't know if this story, Rich Paul, I tend to think that this has probably been covered on Free Talk Live. It certainly should have, but neither one of us are here every night of the week, and I want to talk about it, so I'm gonna.
I'm down.
This is from ABC News, and there's a story here where a Pennsylvania officer won't face charges for shooting a suspect inside the police station. Not just inside the police station, inside a holding cell.
Oh, that guy gut shot the dude. Yeah.
Unarmed, and shot the guy. Let me read the story to you so that we get the news as it is reported here. Pennsylvania police officer will not face charges for accidentally shooting a suspect in the stomach while in a police station last month, the district attorney announced Friday.
First off, let me cut you off right there, because any gun owner knows that there's no such thing as an accidental discharge. There's only a negligent discharge, because when you're in possession of a firearm, you are required, even if you're me, you are required, when you get to the point where you can't handle a firearm, to hand it over to somebody else,
Well, negligence sounds like it carries consequences, and they certainly don't want to do that.
No, they don't.
Yeah. So it's accidental when a law enforcement officer does it. And this is the point I'm going to make here at the end of this, is that this isn't about making a mistake. Although, I'm curious about that too. I'm sure the guy who's gotten shot here has some questions. But this isn't about making a mistake. This is about responsibility and how it falls on you and me versus how it falls on those that work for the government. Now, the government, this term seems scary, but remember, it's just an organizational model. It's just people.
A government is basically a double O corporation. It's a corporation that's licensed to kill.
There you go. Pennsylvania police officer will not face charges. Say Bucks County District Attorney, whatever, Matthew something, declined to press charges against a New Hope Pennsylvania police officer who apparently meant to pull out his taser, but instead drew his gun and shot a suspect inside an interview room. The suspect was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, but survived. Brian Reiling was his name. This is an honest mistake with an unfortunate consequence. And Weintraub, this Weintraub guy says, the conduct was neither justified nor criminal, but excused because the officer honestly believed that he was using his taser when he shot Mr. Reiling in the stomach. And probably made everybody in the room deaf, by the way.
My tinnitus.
Yes. So what happened was the suspect was put in the room, and he was asked to sort of pull his pants down. They were shaking him down, as they do for people who are going into cells.
I hate it when that happens.
Something fell out of his pants, probably drugs. And
not the thing that always falls out.
Right. I didn't see that. And then a struggle ensued, basically. The cops jumped on him. He was trying to get the thing, whatever it was, probably going to swallow it or whatever his plan was. And within
so gross.
seconds, and I'm not talking about 10 seconds. I'm talking about 3 or 4 seconds. This officer pulls out his firearm, which weighs different. It may be shaped similarly to a taser, but usually police officers' uniforms have a gun on one side and a taser on the other.
And those tasers that they carry are boxy. They don't feel like a gun.
Well,
They can't feel like a gun.
I wouldn't be able to say one way or the other, but this is probably practicing over and over and over again to pull your service weapon. And so he went to what was automatic.
Yeah, who does faster out practice with a taser?
Right. So he shot a man for misdemeanor drug possession. Wow. And that's an issue.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if the status of a drug user in the United States is little better than that of a Jew in Nazi Germany, just for being who you are, just for, living your life the way you choose to live it, not hurting anybody. You don't have to hurt anybody to qualify this. You can be dragged off the street and not see the light of day again for months or for years. And
what would have happened?
You may end up dead.
I'm not sure that I like
end up in their criminal justice system.
I'm not sure I like your analogy. So one could stop being a drug user anytime one wishes, largely. But one couldn't stop being Jewish from an ethnic standpoint, right? Like you could stop being a Jew from, a religious standpoint, but you're stuck being a Jew from an ethnic standpoint, especially if you're 100%. So I don't know if I like the analogy, but nonetheless, the rest of the critique
still,
stands.
It's certainly a lifestyle choice within your rights. So you're right that you can't change your ethnicity, but it's kind of like, well, why don't you just obey the law? And the answer is because this is the only life I get. Okay, and I have goals for it, and some of them include visions induced by psychedelic drugs. And I'm not willing to give up my goals because some local mobster or some foreign mobster says, nah, you can't do that. We want you to take poisonous antidepressants from Big Pharma instead. Well, I'm not going to do that, and it's my life.
Let me tell you the thing that saves this officer in this story. It's pretty good. So anyway, the surveillance video goes on from the inside of the police department showing Riley dropping something consisting of a drug baggie, according to police, and certainly looked like it, on the ground while adjusting his belt and jeans. His steps on the baggie, and then scuffle ensues. The two officers, they try to remove his foot from the top of the object. Riley is described as fit, 6'4", 240, construction worker in the district attorney's release. One of the officers shouts, "Taser!" And reaches to his right hip, but instead draws his service weapon and fires one shot into Reiling's midsection. Reiling collapses on the ground, holding his stomach as the two officers immediately leave the cramped interrogation room. Mind you, this guy will be forever messed up. I mean, being shot in the midsection by a gun, you'll be lucky if all you have is a colostomy bag out of this.
Right.
He probably will never walk the same, and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Reiling initially isn't clear what happened.
Hopefully he'll be walking around with a couple mil, though.
What's that? Well,
hopefully he'll be walking around with a couple mil.
This does happen sometimes where there's a unjustified shooting by a police officer, and although he doesn't get charged, something similar to this happened in Los Angeles in the subway. The officer thought he was tasing somebody, and he shot a suspect in the back who was handcuffed.
Well, the thing is, prosecutorial discretion is unquestionable. And what that means is that, if a prosecutor brings charges, you can defeat them in court. But if a prosecutor fails to bring charges, there is no recourse. And a lot of these prosecutors just say, no, we're not going to bring charges against the cop.
We'll never even know his name. We can't even try him in the court of public opinion because it says right here the officers not being named as charges were not filed would have been justified in using his stun gun, according to this. And I would say that's true.
I would say they would have been justified in walking away, closing the door, and
that's your opinion on drugs. And that's fine. I'm just saying from their rules inside their thing. This is a bad shoot. Yeah. And individuals who are not police officers who are involved in a bad shoot often go to jail. Individuals who are police officers don't. 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE, as in freedom.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, capitalists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event. Even with coupon code FTL50. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTL50 for a discount.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive. Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps, the ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
Would you like to hang out with Penn Jillette? He's keynoting Freedom Fest this year. I, for one, am thrilled. Freedom Fest is the largest liberty-oriented gathering in the world. They take a Big Ten approach with libertarians, conservatives, liberals, anarchists, and just open-minded people mingling together to hear real debates, share real solutions, and converse freely. This year's theme is the Wild West, a time of liberty and opportunity, or a time of anarchy and violence. Maybe both. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and get your tickets now. freedomfest.com/FTL. Not convinced yet? Hey, I understand. It's a high-end event, even with coupon code FTLEB. Sure, you're likely to receive investment advice that'll make that sum seem paltry, but I have something special for you. Go to freedomfest.com/FTL and you'll get the 5 best speeches from last year for free. Call it a test drive. Do yourself a favor and go to freedomfest.com/FTL. freedomfest.com/FTL. Use coupon code FTLEB for a discount.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. It's Mark with you.
And Rich Paul.
Going through this story here from ABC News about a police officer shooting a man in the police station and doing it by accident. Now, you know...
Or negligently, as non-cops would say.
That's right. Negligently, I think it's a better term. Well... I think it's good to hold people responsible for their actions, and mistakes you need to be responsible for too. I mean, if you intend to pull a taser and shoot somebody with a taser, you need to be responsible for that. Real quick, let me tell you about AnyPay. If you've got your own business, and you want to take cryptocurrency, you probably should take cryptocurrency because, well, at this point, there are people who want to spend cryptocurrency in your business. And you'll probably get a news story out of it, too. It's the local news often likes to promote that. But you may not know how. Just go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. Helpmetakebitcoin.com covers it all. Basically, all you need is some kind of point-of-sale device. Whatever you're using, they'll be able to help you with that system. Probably a tablet is the way to go. And then after that, you'll have to set up a wallet. Easy. They show you how to do that, and you're off to the races, more or less. Helpmetakebitcoin.com. Well worth your time and energy if you promote it, is the way I see it. They also have a map over there that's connected with helpmetakebitcoin.com, so you'll get on the map, and people will find your business that would not otherwise find your business, and I think that's worth it. Back to this story from ABC News. This officer in Pennsylvania shoots a guy in the holding cell while they're all sort of struggling over some drug probably that fell out of the guy's pants. And he meant to pull the taser. By the sounds of it, seems legit that's what he was trying to do. And then he negligently, as you pointed out, Rich Paul, pulled his gun instead and shot the guy in the gut. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of, I tend to think that if the situation were changed around and it wasn't a situation of a government person, a government employee shooting somebody, that all the laws would come to bear immediately on you.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would have been. It would have gone as easily on that prisoner if he'd, reached into his butt looking for some drugs and pulled out a Derringer instead and accidentally shot the cop with it. I think that would have ended up very badly for that prisoner.
Yeah, I suspect he'd go to prison for the rest of his life if he survived the experience.
Yes.
Yeah. But like if it was in your front yard and somebody committed a misdemeanor on your porch, because that's all this is at this point, is a misdemeanor.
Right.
Drug possession, minor drug possession. If somebody committed a misdemeanor on your front lawn and you shot him over the misdemeanor, not over threats to yourself or anything, just shot him over the misdemeanor, I think you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, and we're talking about a misdemeanor that shouldn't even be a crime.
Yeah.
That's the tragedy of it.
The New Hope Police Department here, that's the name of the municipality, says released a statement saying the department thanks District Attorney Weintraub and the members of the office for their thorough investigation and report. The police department has no further information to release and no further comment on this matter.
We've investigated ourselves and determined that we did nothing wrong.
Right. They do that often, don't they?
They really do.
Yeah.
They're very good. Apparently, they never do anything wrong.
Right. So I guess there's some kind of law in Pennsylvania that says, according to Section 304 of the Pennsylvania Crimes Code, a person has a defense to a criminal charge if he makes a mistake as a matter of fact for which there is a reasonable explanation or excuse. So this really gets this officer off, right? There was a claim where the officer said taser and then pulls the gun and shoots. And with that, coupled with this law here that says a person has a defense to a criminal charge if he makes a mistake as a matter of fact for which there is a reasonable explanation or excuse, and basically he's done. Now, I don't think that means that the municipality is going to be off the hook for paying the medical bills and likely some punitive damages to this man that got shot. I got to see this video. What I guess for me is that shooting videos are fortunately not nearly as bad in real life as they tend to be on in television, right? So this guy, his reaction, strangely, the guy that was shot was that a gun? You shot me with a gun? Now the guy just said taser and shot the guy. And I imagine everybody in the room's deaf. Bang! Right. Wee! Right? Like that, that sound.
So the guy's probably thinking, oh my God, getting tased is incredibly painful.
I don't know if you even feel it. I bet you it's so shocking that you really don't even feel it.
I don't know. I've seen people getting tased who looked like they just went someplace else, and I've seen people who looked like they were in a lot of pain and made a lot of noise. But
I've never seen anybody shot, and hope never to.
Yeah. See, I was reading the Declaration of Independence the other day, or actually listening to a dramatic reading of it, and a couple of the complaints that the colonists had against the king might sound familiar.
Okay.
For quartering large bodies of armed troops amongst us, for protecting them by mock trial from punishments for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states. And, and also for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world. Well, this cop was his purpose was to cut off this guy's trade and whatever
in the form of drugs
that he had. He was a member of a large body of extremely well-armed, militarized troops, and now he's had a pretended trial for at least a negligent. I would call it. I guess you can't have negligent attempted murder, can you? Or attempted negligent homicide. Those aren't things.
It's manslaughter.
Attempted manslaughter, is that a thing?
It would just be manslaughter.
Okay.
This would be, I don't know. This is an aggravated assault is what this is. But
yeah.
I don't know.
And I'm sure the guy who got shot was aggravated.
It's highly aggravated. I imagine that when thinking about this the situation from the standpoint of a drug user you're doing here, I don't know. I don't feel like America's ready to even talk about drug legalization, although I think it should across the board. So if you look at places like Portugal and Amsterdam, a variety of places where they basically decriminalized or made it legal to possess small amounts, personal amounts of drugs, you don't see the problems from a criminal standpoint. You can actually see in Portugal where they've passed these laws and incarceration rates changed, costs changed. I mean, they may very well attempt to force you into treatment there. But other than that, you're basically on your own. And if you want to do drugs to the point that it kills you, well, isn't that your choice, ladies and gentlemen? Shouldn't you be able to kill yourself with drugs?
What's terrifying to me, especially with the specter of Medicare for all, what happens if they give me Medicare and decide to just force me into treatment for the rest of my life?
That's what's going to happen.
I decide to keep doing what I'm doing. And they've got an infinite fund of money. It's a great way to fund your cronies in the drug addiction business. There was no heroin problem in the United States when you could buy heroin from Sears and Roebuck by mail order, which was true. Actually, I don't know if it was heroin. I think it might have been morphine. But the thing is,
Sears had heroin.
That's right. There was heroin.
Yeah. Heroin was just a name brand.
Yeah, because that's the first thing you extract from the poppy.
Well, heroin's came along later than other opiates, but nonetheless, this nation was built by people with free access to opiates.
Right.
I mean, and anybody who says otherwise doesn't understand U.S. history.
Yeah, and it didn't stop anybody. Everything worked out just fine.
If you want to talk about the deterioration of the United States, it started about the time that they began prohibiting substances. I'm talking about alcohol and then, all the rest of it.
Yeah, well, 1905 and 1913 are years that will live in infamy. 1905 for substances, 1913 for
the
Federal Reserve, the income tax, and one other thing I can't recall.
I don't remember that one. 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE as in Free Talk Live.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,276, silver at $15, and Bitcoin is trading around $5,211. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday vetoed a bill passed by Congress to end U.S. military assistance to Saudi Arabia for its war in Yemen. The U.S. provides billions of dollars of sophisticated weapons to the Saudi-led coalition. Members of Congress, led mostly by U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, have expressed outrage over the thousands of civilians killed in coalition airstrikes since the conflict began. Minpress News reports the fighting in the Arab world's poorest country has left millions suffering from food and medical care shortages and has pushed the country to the brink of famine. Responding to Trump's veto, the Norwegian Refugee Council said that if Trump was truly concerned about civilian life, he would ensure that the U.S.-supported Saudi-led coalition stop breaking the laws of war and depriving millions of Yemenis of life-saving assistance, and that the United States is deepening and prolonging the crisis, and civilians are paying the price. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices, with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. The government of Ecuador claims that the country has come under a broad and concerted cyber attack, with approximately 40 million attempts to compromise web portals connected to public institutions ever since the controversial decision to allow UK police to forcibly remove WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange from their London embassy. Activist Post reports that Deputy Minister of Information and Communication Technologies, Patricio Real, told reporters that the wave of attacks began shortly after last Thursday's arrest of Assange by British authorities. Real said the attacks principally come from the United States, Brazil, Holland, Germany, Romania, France, Austria, and the United Kingdom, and also from Ecuador. On April 11th, Ecuadorian President Lenin Moreno revoked the diplomatic asylum extended to Assange by the South American nation in 2012. Instagram has begun blocking pages belonging to Iran's Islamic Revolution Guard Corps, following the organization's official listing as a foreign terrorist organization, or FTO, on Monday. The anti-media reports the commander of the IRGC's elite force finally had his page blocked following this week's designation. He had maintained the account for 2.5 years, for which he frequently posted anti-American political messages and threats. The IRGC's official page was also blocked, which had nearly 1 million subscribers. Instagram had never previously moved to permanently shut down Commander Soleimani's account, despite him being individually designated as a foreign terrorist by the U.S. Treasury back in 2011, although it had been temporarily blocked several times in the past for violating the platform's rules. Among a number of prior threatening images, last year posted an artistic rendering of himself standing in front of the White House, depicted as being on fire after an explosion. Soleimani had over 100,000 Instagram followers, compared to President Hassan Rouhani's 2.2 million, although the latter's account is still active. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Are you a helpless moron perplexed by the world? Wish there was a device that enabled you to consult the Onion Book of Known Knowledge anytime, anywhere? Then you need the Book Bjorn, the amazing new wearable invention that makes you and the Onion Book of Known Knowledge inseparable. Never again be stumped by the panoply of bizarre objects filling your field of vision. Never take it off. Never be without it. All this for just 4 easy payments of $39.93. The Book Bjorn. The Book Bjorn. And if you call now, you'll receive the special page-turning wand. Turn pages with the greatest of ease. The special reading light to wrench knowledge from utter darkness. The book umbrella to protect the Onion Book of Known Knowledge's precious pages from the elements. Book Bjorn. This $800 value can be yours today. Send a check or money order to the Book Bjorn, care of the Zwiebel Center for Knowledge Studies, 15 Zwiebel Way, Macau, China. Do not hesitate. Buy now. The Book Bjorn.
With you
and Rich Paul.
You're welcome to call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. That's what we do on Free Talk Live. If it's between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, we are here taking your calls. That's our commitment to you. At least our commitment is to attempt it. I mean, there's been moments in time when, well, technical difficulties have made it we couldn't get on the air exactly when we wanted to and stuff like that. But, you know, by and large, it's a pretty safe bet. 99.9% uptime guarantee here on Free Talk Live.
Nice.
So we've been all over the board tonight, as we tend to be. We talked about a houseboat being invaded by the Thai government. We talked about a cop shooting a guy for over a bag of weed, apparently. Some lady called in to defend communism. All kinds of stuff. Bitcoin BTC versus Bitcoin Cash, whatever. But Rich Paul, I have a story here that I've been wanting to get out with you on the air. So I got my opportunity. From thesun.co.uk. Are you familiar with this upstanding Pulitzer Prize winning organization?
I am.
Okay. Well, I don't know if they're Pulitzer Prize winning, by the way. I'm kind of using that with tongue in cheek here. Men's beards carry more germs than dogs, including bacteria in facial fuzz, study claims.
That's because dogs have longer tongues.
Men with beards carry more germs than dogs, including deadly bacteria in their facial fuzz, a hair-raising study has found. You are a bearded man.
I am a bearded man.
Yes. And I just want to get your opinion on this, whatever they have to say here. Researchers discovered that nearly half of all sampled beards hosted bugs. I presume bugs being, they're just trying to be as gross as possible. I presume bugs being bacteria. And remember, humans are covered in bacteria, just to be clear.
Well, not to mention that, I mean, the more disheveled you are, like part of becoming disheveled is if you're a man, you tend to become bearded. So if they're doing an average level, then I'd like to know, how many of these were disheveled homeless guys.
Are they just hobos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have an answer to that. The study was trying to determine whether there was a risk of humans picking up a dog-borne disease from an MRI scanner that was also used for examinations by vets. In examining the beards of 18 men and necks of 30 dogs for a number of breeds, scientists found that even hounds had lower levels of microbes than the beards surveyed. And I think that it first should be pointed out that dogs have different bacteria are dangerous to dogs than it are to humans. So, when they say a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's mouth, well, yes, that's because humans carry more diseases that could be passed to humans than dogs do.
Yeah, I mean, one would think that dogs can catch diseases from other dogs, and humans are more likely to catch diseases from other humans.
It was certainly not unusual for me as a child to have my face and mouth licked by a dog because I'd have food on it, and dogs were all over the place at my house. I understand different people have different thoughts on it, but I was raised in the home of a dog handler. My mom is currently a delegate to the American Kennel Club, and we've had dogs my whole life. In some cases, a dozen in the house at once, if you count like puppies and stuff like that. So, yeah.
They do count as dogs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they do. If you count the souls, as far as the poundage, they don't count as much.
Well, that's true. If you'd said we had 1,200 pounds of dog, it would be a different thing.
Yeah, I haven't done the weight calculations. Professor Andreas Gutzert of Switzerland's whatever clinic here. Let's just presume it's a good place. The researchers found a significantly higher bacterial load in specimens taken from men's beards compared with dogs' fur. The study found all the bearded men aged 18 to 76 showed high microbial counts, while only 23 out of the 30 dogs had high counts. Well, that's still quite a bit. And the remainder had moderate levels. 7 of the men were shown to have bugs hazardous to human health. That's more what I'm interested in because everybody's got bacteria. End of story.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole flora and fauna in your gut that is necessary to keeping you alive.
And one thing I've noticed, at least on Facebook, there's a lot of salvos fired in the non-bearded direction by the bearded guys, and I'm just ready to fire a couple back, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring this the story up and to get your thoughts on it too.
I don't understand that. Why? I mean, to me, it's just like, I have a beard. It's never occurred to me that other people should have beards, or that I should be concerned about whether or not they get sick from having a beard or get sick from not having a beard. It's just completely none of my business.
And I'm of the opinion that some men look better with beards. Now, I'm not, most people aren't coming to me saying, "Mark, should I have a beard?" And
right.
I'd have to see you without a beard. I'd have to see you with a beard, and then I'd come up with my determination. But I will definitely say that there are epic beards out there. Your beard is full. If you don't have if you've got sort of spaces, if I can see your skin through your beard, then I kind of question whether you should be growing a beard or not.
It's a beard of shreds and patches.
I don't know where that quote's from, but sometimes it is.
It's from Hamlet, only it's a king of shreds and patches.
I see. So, I mean, if you want my opinion particularly on you, I'm always happy to share an opinion on whether or not somebody should have a beard or not. In your case, I think you pull it off. Right?
It doesn't pull off. You have to shave it.
Right. Well, then you unshave it off. But, there's other people who don't. I think that there's probably a minority of men that can actually make a beard look good.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some men who are going to look good whether they have a beard or not. There are some men who are going to look good. They're going to look bad with a beard, period. And there's some that have to have a beard in order to make it look good. That's basically how it comes down. I had a friend in high school in college, who had a scar on his face, and he wore a beard to cover it. But I'd always seen him in a beard and always looked good. And it was a full beard, so, it all made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's fair to say that the more surface area there is, the more likely you will have bacteria. There's just more surface area for bad bugs, so you have to keep things clean.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I would assume that part of it is just you do get food in your beard sometimes.
Yep.
And
how could you not?
Yeah.
I get food in my face sometimes.
And dogs are actually very handy in taking care of that. It's the easiest way to clean your beard is get near a dog.
Yeah, I suspect, people don't think kindly of dogs, like, licking your mouth and then, kissing or whatever it is that goes on after that. I tend to think, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, my understanding, and this might be an old wives' tale, but I've always been told that the saliva of dogs actually has an antiseptic in it, and that's as a result, because they lick their wounds.
Yes.
And so that it's actually supposed to be good if you have a wound and you don't have any other treatment, let a dog lick it.
I'm not sure it's good for a dog to lick its own wound, but I'm reasonably certain that it is good for a dog to lick your wound. So they just don't carry the bacteria that tend to affect humans much. So I would say that they just clean it more or less.
Right.
And
well,
they're
the other
acquiring
thing is
some protein out of
if you've got, you're not going to catch a disease from yourself. If it's in your wound, it's probably also, or if it's in your mouth, it's probably also in your wound.
I don't know. Mouth's a pretty dirty place. I'm not going to recommend it. I don't know as far as dogs
I keep
go.
mine, immaculate.
But one thing the kids do is one of the first things they do. They get a cut. They stick it in their mouth.
Right.
And so it's just a natural thing to do is to clean a wound with your mouth. I think I'm not recommending that, ladies and gentlemen, but I just thought this was interesting. I wanted to get your take on it as a bearded man and what your thoughts were on beards and bacteria. You're welcome to call in with your opinions too. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE as in Free Talk Live.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, oh! My dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Did you know you can legally exit the U.S. federal income tax system? Well, it's true, and thousands of American nationals are doing it. The 16th Amendment and the Internal Revenue Code are legal, but only in a limited jurisdiction. This is the basis behind the voluntary nature of the income tax. Learn the exit strategy provided by Congress. Find out more by visiting weissparis.com and watch our numerous videos. That's WEISS Paris.com.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is, the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. And it's a place you can send any business. And they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Rich Paul.
Lots of liberty-minded folks are going to be this year from June the 13th to the 18th at Fork Fest 2019. It's at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire, and it's a great party in the woods. Now, you can set up fun things for people to do that, I don't know, they compensate you for or whatever. That's completely up to you, but there's no ticket cost to Fork Fest. Now, of course, you have to...
You don't have to fork anything over.
You don't have to fork anything over. You do have to fork something over to camp there at Rogers Campground. I mean, obviously, the place isn't open for free. But, beyond that, it's just hanging out with people, doing whatever you want to do.
I generally just go and, rent a corner of somebody's campsite or crash in my car.
There you go.
I'm a starving activist.
Forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. Go get there in the Telegram chat or the forum or connect in all kinds of ways. Forkfest.party. Love to see you there.
And speaking of starving activists, don't forget about tips.freetalklive.com.
Is it tips.freetalklive.com? Yeah.
It's tips.freetalklive.com.
There you go. So, Rich Paul, I wanted to...
That sounded scripted.
I wanted to tell you this story. It is about... Well, what you'll often hear is when people talk about weapons of war, assault rifles, or whatever the term is that's being used to describe rifles that they don't like, right? Pretty much every rifle out there is semi-automatic these days. There's a few bolt actions and things like that, but more or less, you're seeing many rifles that are semi-automatic, right? Now, they can have larger magazines than others. Some states mandate smaller magazines. Some states will let you have, I think it's up to a 30-round clip. I guess you could probably have a barrel clip of 100 rounds if it was still semi-automatic. But a lot of people will say, what do you need that for?
Well, you need weapons of war specifically for war. And war is always a possibility. The Second Amendment, I went to a military academy in high school, and what they taught me is the Second Amendment is what supports, this was from the point of view of a person who was in the military. He said, the Second Amendment exists so that the civilians can shoot us if we get out of hand. And when he said us, he meant military and law enforcement.
That's what the Second Amendment was put in place for. It's pretty clear that people had just finished doing just that. The United States exists because the founding fathers became so unhappy with their government they were willing to shoot at center of mass in the form of people, because that's all government is. And what I would say is that there are sometimes instances that a semi-automatic rifle in your house as a defensive weapon is probably in case some weird stuff happens. But sometimes weird stuff happens.
Yes.
The Rodney King situation where, there were riots in the streets in Los Angeles and shop owners used guns to protect their business. Rosewood, I believe there was there's been terrible things that happened.
And they were defending their business against racial violence because there was a black majority which had a lot of antagonism toward a Korean minority that was running shops there. And there had always been tension between those two groups because, it was felt that the Korean shop owners were exploiting the people they sold things to.
Yeah, I don't really understand that particular philosophy, but I will say that
either.
I don't like, there's been a lot of violence in the United States that's been racially motivated, and it hasn't, it's not one particular race doing it every time.
Oh no.
But if you're you never know when, for whatever reason, somebody's going to decide you're the bad guy and do something. But let me tell you a story that happened here. This really seemed to be that particular issue, but I'm kind of curious as to what's going on. They don't talk about race in this. Not that this is aimed at that. This is just about sometimes crap goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, Texas, from concealednation.org. A man fought for his life against not one, not two, but 5 armed men who broke into his home. This gun owner was prepared for a fight and utilized his AK-47 to defend his home and his life. 2 masked men went into the home where the 20-year-old resident was. At first, he thought it was a joke, but quickly realized these armed men meant business. When they demanded cash, the resident complied, or at least that's what he wanted them to believe. He said that he was going for what they wanted, and he reached under the couch. Instead of pulling out money, he pulled out his AK-47 and began shooting the suspects.
Yay!
3 of the men were killed, and the other 2 were injured.
Yay!
Both injured suspects were taken to the hospital, then arrested. So here's a quote from the article. The defender pursued the invaders into the front yard. A pile of brass in the front yard has been described as being from several different guns. The defender continued the gunfight with 3 occupants of the car that delivered the 2 home invaders. The group fled the scene in the car. The car crashed a couple of blocks away. 1 suspect was found in the car dead. 1 wounded suspect was found at Capitol and 71st Street. He was the suspect that died at the hospital, and the 3rd suspect from the car was wounded, fled the scene, and was being treated at the hospital. I can't get clear on whether 3 men died in this or 4 men died, but certainly this guy successfully used a military-style assault rifle, an AK-47, indisputably a military rifle. In the form of
well, that's not necessarily true, because a semi-automatic AK-47 still isn't really it's not the same as the AK-47 which is used by military, which is fully automatic.
Yeah, what do you want a fully automatic gun for anyway? You can't even hold the thing down.
To shoot an awful lot of people.
Yeah. You're gonna to create cover fire is what you want fully automatic for.
Well, to create cover fire, to create fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is part of what you want to do when you're launching an attack. And there are times when you have to go on the offense. There may well come. I mean, I ask Democrats all the time, okay, so let's say Trump is literally Hitler. Let's say he starts herding Muslims into camps. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it,
Complain
little
more
Democrats?
loudly.
Are you going to howl at the moon some more? Are you going to scream at the sky? What has that profited you so far? What you need to do if you don't want this to happen is take up arms and stop it yourself. And in order to do that, you have to have arms.
And that's really what it comes down to is government is an organization of force, right? It is an organization that uses force. It gets its power from we the people, as they say. But this much is true, is that any point that enough people are angry enough to the government to pick up arms, it really can't survive, whatever the government is.
Oh, absolutely not. It is a hard time surviving unarmed people in the street like France. But I'll tell you what, if Frenchmen had guns, the French government would be gone.
That's probably true. Considering how much they rise up on a regular basis. 855-450-3733. Now's your time to call in argue about guns. 855-450-FREE.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. You can call in, talk about whatever you want. We've got a situation here. We're reading a news story where, well, a man used an AK-47 to defend his life and his house from the bad guys here. And so many people will ask you, well, what do you need a weapon like that for? The answer is, what if 5 armed men come in your house? And that's what happened to this guy.
You got to shoot them mofos.
You got to shoot them. me tell you about our Twitch and D-Live channels. If you want to see us streaming, this is a great way to do it. Go to twitch.freetalklive.com, and when you do, just go there and leave that browser open. We're trying to get enough people on these channels so that we get sort of partner status. We're doing okay on DLive at dlive.freetalklive.com. But we could still use a little help on Twitch, twitch.freetalklive.com. And leave a browser open. We'd appreciate it. Just helps run our streaming numbers up, and at some point we'll get partner status, and that'll be good or something. We're thinking about doing some kind of contesting there to make people happy.
See, I think we should have Bitcoin giveaway contests of some sort.
Ian's been working on that. I think that's going to happen here in the near future.
I think that would be a wonderful thing,
and
especially if hosts can enter.
All the better.
I need to build up my coin stock.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So going on this story where two guys break into a home, and there's three guys in the getaway car. By the way, why do you need three people in the getaway car? Sounds like you just had two cowards along for the ride is what it sounds like. But the guy
also could be backup. But the thing is, in that kind of a situation, you really want all the shock and awe you can get.
Right.
So I don't know why one person in the car makes sense, but I don't know why you would leave three in the car.
It makes sense to that they would have gone in, and maybe this wouldn't have happened to them. But nonetheless, they demanded money from this guy. They wore masks, demanded money. Maybe they didn't have enough masks. They wore masks.
Oh, maybe that was actually it.
Demanded money and got shot at by a guy with an AK-47, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
The resident, this is the guy with the AK-47, was not wounded during the incident. The police do not expect any charges to be filed. What this 20-year-old did was something that couldn't be done unarmed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't want to do this. Isn't the situation. This isn't a situation where you want a handgun. What the Marines say is a handgun is a weapon that you use to fight your way to your rifle.
Right.
A rifle is something that you want to have if you've got a fight going down. I mean, you need to put bullets on target. You want a rifle.
No, a handgun is very effective against an opponent with a handgun. It's generally sufficient. But yeah, if you have an opponent with a rifle, you want to cap the first one, and you want to take his rifle, and you want to use his rifle against any remaining bad actors.
Going on, the resident showed skill and maintained his cool under pressure. His approach of pretend compliance is what made the self-defense as successful as it was, by completely catching his aggressors off guard. By the way, the element of surprise is always what's important.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I say is
How
a
to
gun.
be a better criminal.
If somebody's holding a gun on you, a gun is nearly useless. Sorry.
You're not going to bring it to bear before he can bring his finger to the trigger.
Right.
You're not that fast.
It's not saying it's not a good idea to have a gun on you for certain circumstances, lots of them. But, if somebody's holding a gun on you and trying to rob you or whatever, it's probably not a good idea to play, rootin' tootin' cowboy with them. You're probably going to end up dead. So, as a gun owner, you've taken on a certain responsibility. One of those is, and apparently this gun owner took on this responsibility. One of those is, where do the bullets go downrange? My father stressed this constantly. Is you've got to constantly be looking at what's behind what you're shooting.
Right.
If you're just trying to shoot something, well, I mean, the bullet's going to land. It's going into something. And sometimes it'll go through the thing you shoot into something else. You're responsible for every place that thing goes.
And that's one of the important safety reasons for using hollow point bullets, because hollow points expand on impact. Now, yes, they do more damage to the target, and from my point of view, that's a good thing, but also they're more likely to get caught up and stuck in the target,
right,
or in a cinder block wall that might not stop a Full Metal Jacket bullet.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. I haven't heard that argument before, but it makes perfectly good sense. A hollow point is intended to sort of balloon out when it hits something. It gets much bigger. Now, of course, that makes the impact hole big. It makes the exit hole, if there is one, huge. And, usually that's not the case. But, it's going to destroy flesh and organs and things like that.
Yeah. Well, even if it does leave an exit wound, though, it's going to be a much slower moving projectile than it would have been if it was Full Metal Jacket. And, bullets are tiny. They're not heavy at all. The only reason they do any damage is because they're moving really fast when they hit you.
Absolutely. And this is the reason I read this article is this is one of those stories when people ask you, what do you need a weapon like that for? This is the reason. Because you never know if 4, 5 armed people are going to attempt to rob you. Now, I recommend if you're being robbed for some money or whatever, give them the money. But the thing is that you don't know if they're just there for the money. What if they took this money and just capped this guy? You never know whether that's what's going to happen.
And that's a very strong possibility.
Very strong.
I would say if somebody is actively robbing you with violence, I would say the best thing you can do is cap them.
If you can. This guy got lucky.
You can. He got lucky, but he was also smart. He handled it. Well, You can. There was a time when there were a couple of guys a guy and a girl in Manchester trying to rob me, and he started out with a sucker punch, and we wrestled around a bit. But at some point, she yells, "Where's the money?" And I yelled, "It's in my trunk." Which wasn't true. It was in my pocket. But that was enough to demoralize them because they realized that there was no way they were going to get my key, get out onto the street, and get to my car and get money out of my trunk without killing me. And guile helps.
Guile helps. You have no obligation to tell the truth to somebody who's attempting to rob you. This is why I say...
Including a police officer.
Right. Or an IRS agent.
To them, just don't talk. Because they will actually put you in prison for lying to them.
For lying, right. But this is why I say that it's completely morally acceptable to lie on your tax return.
Absolutely.
This is just a form the government makes you fill out so that they can rob you properly.
Yeah, and also it violates the guarantee against self-incrimination to require you to fill out a form.
The 13th Amendment is very clear that that there's no involuntary servitude except for the commission of a crime. Right, so that means that they can't make you do something unless you've been convicted of a crime. Then you're basically their slave, right? That's the claim. Well, then what is the income tax forms? All these forms, if it's not involuntary servitude, don't I have to fill these things out? Isn't there a 1-year sentence, basically potential sentence for people who don't fill out tax returns?
I don't know.
That's what you'll be told.
I haven't filled one out since 1999.
Well,
that was.
I applaud.
I had
anybody.
one filled out for me last year. The truth be told, but I didn't fill it out.
The government filled it out?
No, Melanie did.
Okay, a person filled it out.
Yes. She is a person. Yes.
Yes. Well,
I think all of them are filled out by people.
I guess they'd have to be. A million monkeys pounding on a million typewriters, right?
Yeah, but then you have to have an editor read all these things and sort out the ones that are correct.
You have to have a million editors. At least 100,000.
Yeah.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynavite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, Pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Mark with you.
And Rich Paul.
Final segment. We might be able to squeeze you in. The number is 855-450-3733. Want to thank our amplifiers, everybody who's ever donated and still continues to donate to the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. There's no show on the air in the world like Free Talk Live. Certainly not on 200 radio stations nearly across the United States. Can't wait till we actually hit that number so I can punch that 200 number. Nearly 200 radio stations. And if you want us to continue to reach more people on more stations, it's simple. More money means more people reached. End of story. We need to advertise, market, and promote Free Talk Live, and that's what the Amplifier program does. And folks like John Ray, well, they make it possible. Thanks for being a silver amplifier, John Ray. amp.freetalklive.com. Well, thank you, too. It's amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
I keep writing these things down, make a list, but the list keeps getting longer because I can't share them fast enough. We have there's multiple things today, but one of them is a Judge Pamela Smith in New Mexico, and she She got caught, I don't know, last year. The Supreme Court got a hold of her. Now I guess she's finally going to get charged with New Mexico judge accused of stealing from dead man's estate.
Oh.
She had
wow.
KRQE's got this, Albuquerque Journal's got this, some other places. Anyway, what the little racket that she had going, she got herself elected to be a probate judge. So when people die intestate or without a will, they need to go to probate, or if there's arguing over the will. She had a dead guy come before her court. Apparently, he didn't have any family, and conveniently, she was not only the probate judge, but she was the coroner. So she responded to the dead guy's house to check out the dead guy, and then discovered that he had no family, but he had $280,000 in assets. And so what she did is she in the court document, she put her husband down as his only next of kin. This is just too funny. She put her husband down as this guy's only next of kin, and then they started taking his money to the tune of $280,000.
Sure.
So,
who else would?
Pardon?
Yeah, like what else would they do? They'd have to liquidate everything to get his money, right?
Well, of course, yeah. He didn't have any family, so it was a public service. Pardon?
How'd she get caught?
I don't know. So far, the stuff that I'm seeing on I haven't looked at all the articles, but the articles I do see have not had a whole lot of facts, or not as many facts as you'd like. I see the Albuquerque Journal has more facts than KRQE had, and I don't know how. I haven't discovered yet how she initially got discovered. But I'm sure that as the details come out, it'll be rather entertaining.
It's a good story, David. Who's the victim?
All of us, society.
So society. So the government would have taken these assets and then wasted them on something.
Well, frankly, I would rather a corrupt judge spend it all on cocaine than have the government get it and spend it on putting people in prison.
Yeah, but the guy couldn't possibly have been completely isolated from the world. There had to be. He had to have some connection, probably to some blood relative. If he had any blood relative that was alive, no matter how distant, they and there was nobody ahead of them, they would have had claim to it. So at least somebody related to him would have benefited from the life of their blood relative. But instead, some greedy judge saw that there wasn't enough close relatives to notice that she was going to help herself to that money. So the victim is all of us for having a government that apparently, for if you got judges that are bold enough to try to pull this stuff off, that means that
there's not enough checks and balances,
fault.
right? Like these people aren't being held accountable enough. If they figure they can stick their hand in the till and no one's going to know, one wonders how many times she's done this before. Honestly,
Well, they're unchecked, and a lot of them seem to be unbalanced. So, this isn't good.
I guess I think you're right. There's somebody who's blood related in that, there's a second cousin twice removed somewhere that this money belonged to.
Well, it says right as I scan this as I'm talking to you, it says right here. One of the quotes in the article in the Journal is moved nearly $300,000 from Domingo's accounts into their own, ignoring quote, living heirs entitled to the estate, end quote, which is what I had just said. So they're citing here that she ignored living heirs. So apparently there is somebody, who would rightfully be entitled to that money. If the guy died intestate, by law and by reason, that's who that money would rightfully belong to.
Well, this
is another. So that's who the victim is. Asked and answered. I would agree.
Another thing is this is a great instance to talk about wills. Ladies and gentlemen,
have one.
You, me, Rich Paul, and David are all going to die. Everybody's going to die. And to have a piece of paper that indicates who you'd like your stuff to go to is a reasonable thing to have done. There's lots of ways to manage.
You actually have any stuff.
Well,
I don't have
so,
any stuff.
You should still have it, just so the people know who you want to have your junk. I mean, you've got something. You got to get a shirt on your back. I think everybody should have one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's an opportunity. This guy, obviously didn't have a will filed anywhere. Not that that's always the case. But I don't even know that my will is filed anywhere, but I certainly have one. It's a good idea.
Right,
I got it through LegalZoom.com. By the way, I think you can still use coupon code FTL over there to get some kind of savings on the will, and it's always a good idea. So LegalZoom.com, code FTL. What's this other story that you had, David?
Well, there was another, as long as we're in the judges, there was another judge this week that, I guess I heard this on the radio initially anyway, and then I read up on it, and what this judge did is he lived in whatever neighborhood he did, and in New Mexico here, and he didn't like that the kids next door were playing basketball. They had one of those hoops in the driveway, and he didn't like the noise from the basketball going thump, thump, thump. I don't necessarily blame him, but what he did to solve the problem is he just parked his car for 6 months in front of their driveway so that the kids couldn't play basketball in the driveway anymore because his car was parked in front of it, so that they couldn't use it. And then that was at the kid's grandmother lived next to this judge, and when the grandmother complained about it, he threatened to have her husband was on disability, receiving disability benefits. He threatened to have his disability benefits. I forget the term he used, but ended, cut off. Yeah, so that's a civil rights violation right there. When you're a public official and you retaliate against somebody for something that they are lawfully doing, that's retaliation, and the courts have ruled that as a civil rights violation. So that's another wonderful judge here in the state of New Mexico.
What is that, oppression under color of law or something?
I don't know. I don't know for sure. All I know is I know that it qualifies as retaliation, and I know that the courts have ruled that retaliation in that kind of manner is a violation of another's civil rights, and so here you have just.
What you have here is a situation where somebody is attempting to abuse power that they don't even have, right? Once somebody gets power, and this is science, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't something that I'm just saying on the radio as rhetoric or anything, that once people get power, the chances of them not being corrupted become slimmer as the power becomes greater. And so pretty much everybody who's in power is attracts the corrupt, right? Like, where are the corrupt going to go? They want to go where the power is. Secondly, if it by chance you get somebody who's uncorrupted in power, the chances are that they will be corrupted by the power itself. So now you have the situation where a vanishingly few people weren't corrupted in the beginning, didn't get corrupted by the power, and they're all fighting in a system, assuming that they still want to fight. They're all fighting in a system against all these corrupt people. It's not possible. I mean, this is a system. Thank you for the call, David. Appreciate it.
Frank Herbert wrote that power attracts pathological personalities.
Yeah, and then what's the other one? Power corrupts?
Corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's Lord Acton.
Yep, and you should absolutely go to freetalklive.com. Don't forget twitch.freetalklive.com and open up a window for us.
Jake was in
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is